Use my balloons. It was my birthday on Friday, the 22nd of April. So I have little balloons there. It says 27. I'm telling everyone I'm 26. We're just gonna go with it. My niece's birthday is like 3 days after my birthday. So her birthday's on Monday and I'm going to go wrap her gift right now. Let me show you guys what it is because honestly, I want this for myself. How cute is this? Like, look at this Disney princess. It is 4 feet tall. 4 feet. That is literally as tall as my mom. Comment if you guys like my Disney princess castle because I'm very excited about it. What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariel and I'm the co-founder of Flowrish Lashes. So in today's video, we are going to be talking all about your lash glue. This is something you absolutely need to know. And honestly, I feel like a lot of lash artists don't know enough about their lash glue. So let's get into it. So first thing, when it comes to lash glue, first of all, what is lash glue? What is lash glue made of? What is the difference between lash glue and, strip lash glue? Well, I'm going to tell you, there's a ton of differences. And to be honest, they are classed in 2 totally different categories for that reason. If you actually look at a strip lash glue, it is considered a cosmetic because it is cosmetic grade, which means that it is something that is meant to put on and take off just as easily as it was put on. So usually it's meant to be taken off the same day it was put on. That's kind of the cosmetic side of it. So the ingredients in it are not anything super harsh, super, strong, nothing like that. But that's the difference when it comes to an adhesive or a lash adhesive. This is the thing that kind of separates the two, is that a lash adhesive is much stronger and it is definitely put into an industrial category because of the ingredients in an actual adhesive are much more potent, much stronger, and definitely not made for everyday use. When I say everyday use, it's definitely professional grade. So you must be a professional to handle lash adhesive. And that is because you need to know these things about lash adhesive. And I feel like they're not talked about enough when it comes to being certified or getting certified. I feel like the lash glue part gets kind of skipped over, and then you buy a lash glue and it says for professional use only, but it's like you don't really learn that much about lash glue. So this is the reason why I want to do this video. I just feel like it's so important to kind of know these things about your lash glue. So next point. Okay, so when it comes to your lash adhesive, there are 2 ingredients that you really want to be aware of and 2 ingredients that are your main ingredients when it comes to lash adhesive. So you have cyanacrylate, okay? That is that word that none of us can pronounce, but cyanacrylate is what makes the adhesive sticky. It's like the actual clear part of the adhesive. If you actually shake your bottle or don't shake your bottle and you see that the black and the cyanacrylate separate from each other and it's like a clear liquid, that is the cyanacrylate in the adhesive that actually makes the lashes stick to your natural lashes and gives it the stickiness to it. Now the second ingredient, which is carbon black. Carbon black is the ingredient that makes the adhesive dark. Gives it that jet black look so that the lashes blend into one another. Something that's super important is to know that sometimes when you have a client that could be allergic to something, chances are they're not actually allergic to the cyanacrylate. It's actually the carbon black that they're probably allergic to. So let's say you have a client that says, hey, I'm allergic to something and I'm not sure what it is. Give the clear glue a try. Even our marketing coordinator, Danny, shout out to you, Danny, she lives in the UK and she's actually allergic to the carbon black as well. So she had to kind of stop lashing, but she does still lash, but she uses clear adhesive only. And she actually has recently told me that she has no issues. She would wear like a hazmat mask and now it's a lot better because she's using clear adhesive. So it's the carbon black that's really bothering her. That's kind of the breakdown on what's in your adhesive. So now let's get into the retention side of it. So a couple things you want to know when it comes to retention and lash glue. A lot of times, right, we're constantly blaming different things. And that's the thing when it comes to lash extensions, is that there's so many different variables on as to why you may have bad retention or good retention. And it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what it is. Sometimes it's just balancing the formulas, kind of getting the right lashes, the right adhesive, the right air temperature. Like there's just so many things that could affect your retention. So one of the biggest things is that, people automatically say, I have terrible retention and it's my glue. And then a lot of times we're like, no, it's not your glue, it's XYZ. But let us not skip over the fact that it could also just be your adhesive. I can tell you firsthand that I have used some really crappy adhesives, and chances are most of them that I used that weren't that great were from Amazon. That's why I always recommend don't buy your adhesive from Amazon, just because the consistency for me was just way off. Like it was just not it. So sometimes you can have an adhesive that is just, not it for you. But let me jump into a little bit of like the making of the adhesives. You can have different ways of actually making your adhesive. You can formulate your own adhesive, or you can actually just buy an adhesive that's already made and you test it out and that's what you're selling. And a lot of times what local or smaller brands do, lash artists that just kind of start selling products, which is great, but they'll usually just buy an adhesive from a supplier and then sell that adhesive. And I find more often than not, these lash artists don't really dive deep or dig too deep into knowing the characteristics of the adhesive. And I'm talking about beyond just having, the dry time, the retention time, or the humidity, like beyond that, like what is used to formulate this? What's the percentage level of certain ingredients? Things like that. All these things really do matter. And as a brand owner, you want to make sure that you're putting out the best possible option, not just, amazing retention, but not to harm your client or to harm your lash artist, because sometimes even as lash artists, we can get affected by the adhesive. So one of the main ingredients that I learned while formulating our own adhesive was that formaldehyde and latex are sometimes in adhesives. What happens is, we look for an adhesive that has a great dry time, has great reviews, all that good stuff. And then we're like, oh, that's the one for me. But really, we don't know what's in that ingredient list. So sometimes it does take a little bit longer and it does kind of take some research, but it is the best way to go about it, is to really dive deep and look at what is in your adhesive. So all of our Flowrish adhesives are latex and formaldehyde free. And you can honestly see a difference in terms of the irritation from your client and yourself. I personally, I've talked about this so many times, but if you're new here, I'll tell you, is that I used to have serious allergy issues, or what I thought were allergy issues, when I would lash, especially doing 2 clients back to back. I would get super runny, my nose would start to run, my eyes would get itchy. And I used to think like, oh my gosh, it's just my sinuses because I'm like over this client for so long. But realistically, it was the formaldehyde in the actual adhesive that was causing the irritation for me. And because I was lashing all day long, it was just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. At one point, I thought it was just because one of my clients had a dog and I was just allergic to the dog. But definitely wasn't that. It was just the adhesive that was really, really bothering me. So once I switched and I started, creating our own and realizing like formaldehyde was terrible, I realized that I saw a huge difference, and my clients saw a huge difference as well in terms of the redness, the burning, all that stuff. So the discomfort was literally gone after I started using the adhesive without the formaldehyde in it. So now when it comes to retention, and the reason why it could potentially be your adhesive is because there's, like I said, there's so many variables when it comes to adhesive that could potentially be something that doesn't do well with your lashes. And this has happened to me. Like, I've used an adhesive and then used a lash, and that lash and that adhesive just did not mesh. They did not do well together. The retention was like actually terrible, but it wasn't the adhesive. It was the formula of lashes and adhesive. Like, those two just didn't do well, because if I had used those lashes with a different adhesive, it was fine. And if I used that adhesive with a different lash, it was also fine. So those two just didn't do well. So this is why it's so important to know that becoming a new lash artist, you want to get all the products, and you get a kit from your trainer, which is great, but there's so many more products out there, and it does take trial and error. Unfortunately, it does take that, and you have to go out there, you have to do some research, and you have to look for what is going to work for you. Because then when you start mixing in your humidity and your temperature, and like, are you lashing in the basement, are you lashing upstairs, are you lashing on a higher level, does your client have oily lids, does your client have dry skin, like all those things definitely matter. But specifically, let's just stick to the retention on the glue itself. Glue is definitely going to be your core product, and it's going to be the product that you're going to spend the most money and time in testing to make sure that you find the right adhesive for your client. And just know that yes, most of the time there's so many variables that you're probably missing one, or maybe the primer isn't strong enough, or maybe the client's lashes are a little bit dirty, but at the same time it could potentially be your adhesive. So the best way to kind of go about this and know whether or not it's your adhesive is to make sure you are testing your adhesive consecutively. So if you're using a new adhesive, try it on multiple clients and see what they all come back saying. And at the end of the day, not everybody is going to agree with everything, and that's something we have to just accept. But it's majority rules. Whatever's going to work for majority of your clients is the one that you're probably going to go with. Because at the end of the day, if I have 10 clients and it works for 8 out of 10 clients,
chances are that's the adhesive for me, because maybe those 2 clients are just the exception to the rule.
So quick tip, if you ever have an actual issue with an adhesive that you purchased, definitely contact the customer service, contact the company that you purchased it from, and give them the batch number of the actual adhesive, because maybe it's just a defective batch, maybe that adhesive just didn't work really well. But do that so that way the company actually knows that there could be some sort of, you know, issue, or it could be a bad batch. So just let them know, so then that way they can check it out, they can get back to you, and maybe they can reimburse you or give you a new adhesive. So going into all these retention things, I know that it's a lot of information to take in, but I just want to let you guys know that we have a live webinar coming up. I am so excited to host this live webinar on Flowrish lashes. It is going to be all about retention. You absolutely need to know this stuff. I haven't really put it into my course. I haven't really put it onto YouTube. So it's information that you want to know, especially for having retention issues. This can honestly save your life. So make sure that you guys check it out. Go ahead and hit the link in my description. You will be directed straight to the webinar. All the information is there. And if it is for you, go ahead and purchase it before it's too late. There's only 25 seats available. I know a lot of them are gone already. So if you want it, go get it now. Okay guys, that is it for this video. I hope that it was helpful. I hope that you guys loved it. I hope that this shed some light on some adhesive. If you guys have any questions about adhesive, please let me know in the comments below. I definitely want to answer them for you. If you have any questions about Flowrish products, anything like that, go ahead and DM us at Flowrish Lashes on Instagram. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to DM me as well. I try my best to get back to you. If I don't get back to you, leave it in the comments. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll be back with something new next time. Bye.